Welcome to the Still Grizzlies channel. Today, we're looking into a deep and dark game. Up front, it may look like a game for children because of the small characters you play. Once you get into the game, you will see rather quickly that this is not the case. Disproportionate bad guys, a static evil TV character jumping out at you through the TV, teachers who will beat you into learning a lesson, and children who aren't children at all but some sort of clay models. All this wrapped up in a game that we have been waiting over 4 years to play after the first one came out. If it isn't any indication, this is the second game in the series, but this game is actually the prequel to the first game, which came out in 2017. You'll find yourself running from terrible creatures and multiple jump scares. I will say this game made me jump way more than the first. How did I feel about the game though? Well, that's why you're watching this review. Let's get right into it. First, let's look into the environment and how it plays into the game. You play as Mono with a paper bag in place of Six's distinctive yellow raincoat. Besides that big difference, Mono can pick up and wield a variety of weapons to smash them into the scenery or take out different enemies. Though we will get more into that with the gameplay. For the environment, we see ourselves in a complex and dark world. A noxious swamp being chased by a one-eyed shotgun-wielding maniac to a crumbling city with people legitimately dropping like flies. In each area, there are buildings filled with haunting environments, like marionette students that seem to have lost their strings, that wielded their actions, to a deranged teacher with a creepy long extendable neck. Yeah, I freaked out the first time I saw her head come around the corner. Moments of running through the darkness with just your flashlight as protection, only to have spastic mannequins jerk their way towards you. At any time, you can take a step back and screenshot the environment just to see its beauty. What makes Little Nightmares 2 come alive is that each area has the ability to bring that chilling aspect into each screen. When you see those still images come alive with a mannequin's jagged, uneven movements stumbling towards you, or a wall of hands reaching out to grab you, instills that fear we know and have come to love from the first game. On top of the backdrop you see yourself playing in is the sound for this game. I could do a quick little sentence about how engrossing it is, but really that wouldn't be justification. The atmosphere is brought alive with the sound design in this game. The creaking of the wooden floors as you walk over them, a creepy piano being played with a haunting tune as you edge your way closer, or the breathing of a heavy asthmatic ward attending to his victims. The sound really encapsulates you into the story. Next, we're looking into the gameplay of Little Nightmares 2. I already addressed that Mono can wield some items versus the first game where Six is essentially just playing a large hide-and-seek type game. This change alone gives you the power to be able to attack, which does help to shift the dynamic somewhat from a helpless child running to one who can defend themselves. While you play as Mono, you have a friend who also follows along with you. It's not very spoilery since it happens soon, but for those who haven't played and want to find out for themselves, spoilers ahead, sweetie! Okay, was that long enough? Back to the gameplay. One big gripe I had was the second character that follows you around and helps you through the areas, who turns out to be Six from the first game. She is helpful in certain situations, but I often found when she was around, she broke the immersion. There were moments when I would be in the dark shadow and step out only to be caught, where Six would follow me and just continue to be in the open and never be caught. I mean, what's with that? In addition to that, there were several times she would be running in front of me, blocking my path, causing me to be caught several times. Besides those frustrations, having Six along does play into the story, which we will discuss here soon. Regarding the gameplay, it ties into the environment as you move throughout areas using the backdrop to get along. Later in the game, you'll find the area littered with TVs that you can use as a sort of teleportation. This is actually a really cool idea. Along with this, you find yourself with several head-scratching puzzles, some more complex than others, and some that leave you feeling stupid for overcomplicating it. The great majority tend to flow pretty well as you move from one location to the next. Besides the puzzles or attacks you can do, the game incorporates some platforming. Like the previous game, these are not fully part of the game, just moments you may need to climb from one area to the next. I almost felt like the jumping with Mono was a bit lackluster. Several times I would find Mono to jump and say, grab Six's hand, and because I wasn't angled just right, I would miss. Not frustrating. If they would have improved that, it would have made the game better. Last, my biggest gripe with the game was a combination of both frustration and, I guess, understanding. I understand Mono as a child, so I knew that him being able to lift heavy items to swing will take time. But that did not prevent me from becoming extremely frustrated when I would try to swing at an enemy, and it takes a full few seconds to lift that dang item and then swing. Yeah. Several deaths I had were directly related to this, and I really don't think it takes away from the story to make the swing movement just a teeny bit faster. The thing that draws us to Little Nightmares and this game is the story. It gives you just enough, like hanging a cake in front of you, only to hold it out of reach just enough, making you continually ask, why are you doing this? The tone is that of a children's story, but with darkness, it turns into a terrifying tale. I already stated before, spoilers, but this ties in here, so, yeah, more spoilers. I won't reveal too much about the story to let you get that on your own, but I will say 6 accompanying you leaves you wondering what's going to happen next. What this did was take me from caring about Mono to wondering when we would get to the point where 6 ends up on the Maw. While I know Mono's story is actually pretty awesome once you complete the game, it leaves you wondering while playing what happens to 6. Where will she go? What is she doing next? Also, how could you, 6? Was I a bit loud there? All these questions just kept popping into my head. 6 already portrays her dark nature when you end up killing one of the bad guys by placing them in a furnace. Instead of you guys running away to escape, she chooses this moment to sit and watch them burn. It's only a foreshadowing of her dark nature wanting to escape. You notice moments when 6 isn't there too. They did a good job of literally holding your hand, which you see here is pretty adorable. So when you get separated, it only emphasizes you being alone and wondering how 6 will get out of this scenario. You're left contemplating how you'll make it through and even have a sense of dread that she may not survive. I personally felt the story in this game was better than the first. The first game gives you a taste of what is to come, like a good book laying down the groundwork for a good story. Little Nightmares 2 gives you more on top of that groundwork. I don't think this is a spoiler, but you don't see the Maw at all. Instead, you're in this city that is wrecked by decay and gives an illusion to TVs are bad. So this game introduces multiple characters that may not even be in the next game. While this is sometimes not always good, I think it plays into the story setting that Little Nightmares series pushes, which is alluding to something, letting you know pieces of it bit by bit, always making you want to know more. My thoughts on all this is that Little Nightmares was a great game. It stuck to what the first one did best. It leaves you with large, disproportionate creatures that jump out from the shadows, giving you a fright. Like the first game, it addresses real subjects that make it more terrifying. Like the aspect that TV is making these people distorted and wanting to die. Incorporate that with a mysterious city, grotesque monster designs, and a child who is almost powerless to it all wandering through. You end up having a great game. I think this combination works perfectly, making me want to continue to explore and find out more about the lore even after the game is finished. Due to this, I give the game a 9 out of 10. I know I didn't give it a 10 out of 10 due to a couple key reasons. One, the gameplay had some hiccups that take you out of that immersion. The slow swinging, the fact that 6 never gets caught, but if you put out a toe, you get caught. 2, some platforming issues that really could just be Grizzlies sucking at the game. That's me. Besides those aspects, this game is worth playing. It takes about 5 hours to beat. If you came here asking, should I buy this game? My answer is buy it. It is worth it. Check out the first game too. If you came here looking for more lore though, I'm sorry. I didn't have any for you. All I can say is this game is worth the time invested into it. I hope you enjoyed my Little Nightmares 2 review. If you enjoyed my video, please leave a like and a comment below on what you liked about this video, or if you have any other games you'd like me to check out. If you'd like to help support the channel, make sure to click subscribe. This is the Still Grizzly, wishing you best of luck with all your future games.